Hey guys, so I've been wanting to get a smaller diameter steering wheel while keeping the airbag for my E36 for a while now. This is the 97 Plus or 98 Plus M3 steering wheel. It's the 3-spoke one, and it's 375 millimeters versus the 385 millimeter diameter of my 4-spoke non-M wheel, or even the 4-spoke M wheels, I believe. I got a really good deal on this, but you can see why I got a really good deal. The leather is peeling and this top part is kind of wrecked. The foam underneath it is perfectly fine though, so I decided that for the deal I got this at, it would make financial sense to recover it with new leather, and I am going with Redlinegoods leather, which is this stuff right here. So in addition to getting this stuff, they also give you plenty of thread and a needle, so you can do the whole job yourself. I think the only thing I need to do now is to buy some rubber cement so I can kind of glue on the leather to the steering wheel before I sew the center line stitch. So there's not much to this. I'm gonna take a more detailed video for myself just to see how the original BMW stitching goes. You can see that like there's a 3-part fold, and it kind of goes together like so. On the Redlinegoods, they kind of simplified it a lot, so you don't have that three flaps kind of coming together, because this is that back part. It goes along like this, and it's just a single flap. So when I wrap everything around it, let's see if I can give you a good example. When I wrap everything around, like so, this is, honestly, I'm doing a terrible job, but it kind of folds along like this. And it should be a lot easier because I can just do this section, like this section here, then all the way around the top part, and then this bottom section, or this left section here. And then I should be good to go. We'll see how it does. What I'm really going to do is just time-lapse it and not really give you much of a overview or DIY how to do it, because honestly I'm not like an upholstery person, and there are a couple videos on YouTube which I'm going to be basing my stuff off of. So yeah, I think that is it for now. So stay tuned and we will see how this project turns out. Okay, so not sure when the camera died when I was doing the leather fitting, but took a bunch of lacquer thinner, got all, or at least most of the old glue off, and nothing was hanging off, and I got all the leather that got stuck to the old glue off. I didn't want to use too much because I was afraid of actually like hurting the foam or the rubber or whatever the steering wheel is made of. Then I kind of just stretched the new cover over the steering wheel, the bare steering wheel. I did manage to get the M logo off, and I just took a screwdriver, pried it right off. So that's kind of nice. I'm gonna probably reuse that now. Um, it is kind of fiddly. Um, I basically, once I got everything on, I kind of just pulled and stretched. So these seams right here, yeah, so you can see the seam right here. It falls into the slot of the wheel on both sides, and that's my main alignment point. Then the rest of it is just when I fold these two over, I want to make sure that they meet right at the seam between like the in the center of the wheel, kind of where the I guess the molding, the original molding is. I made sure that went all the way around the best I could. It's pretty even. It's looking pretty even. If I flip it around, this is the side that nobody's gonna see, but when you check it out, the original foam or the original cover leather fit right up to here, but this new stuff kind of goes over quite a bunch. I'm unsure how to tackle this. I think I'm going to stitch it up as close to this as possible and then decide whether or not I want to cut the leather, and then glue the edges down the best I could, or just leave it overlapping and glue the overlap over like so. We'll kind of see. Same deal with the bottom. Again, the original one kind of ends right there, and then I have this much extra that kind of folds over. So that is a little bit of a bummer, but I kind of understand why this would happen, because if they cut it too short, then you'd have a really ugly steering wheel, but if they cut it longer, you can do it yourself. Going up from the sides, it looks like the stitching kind of ends right where the crease is. Obviously, like I said, I couldn't get all the foam off, or all the old glue off, but this stuff isn't really gonna come off, and I don't really want to like soak it with lacquer thinner in case it kind of starts eating away at the rubber or foam that the steering wheel is made of anyway. So, like an idiot, I totally forgot to time lapse it, forgot to press record. Anyways, I got it done. It's glued on, and it's the best I could. I'm definitely not a pro at this, so this thumb rest has a little bit of puckering, which I could not for the life of me get fixed. But then the rest of it's pretty good. There's a little bit of puckering over here and here, and I'm using just some string to get these sides to kind of glue in a little bit better for now. If you look real close though, there's a lot of separation on these sides just because of the wrap itself, and even at the top of the rim here there's some separation, and I'm hoping what's going to happen is when I start stitching I can pull this stuff together and it stretches in perfectly. This is very tedious. It's not fun at all, but I'm getting it. I'm getting most of the way there. It should look okay. I really hope it does look okay at the end of the day. Haven't ruined anything yet, at least to my knowledge. And yeah, so I'm going to try to remember to record a time lapse of the stitching this time, and then we will be good to go. Oh, one last thing is this last little bit of these flaps I did not glue on. Hopefully that's going to help me start and finish the stitch a little bit easier. And then at the very end, I'm hoping to tuck these guys in, kind of like the factory. So when I put the tabs on here, it works a lot better. Just like, and then down here too, I hope to glue this down a little bit better. But I want to do that after I sew all the way up. I'm hoping I can also, like, these flaps are also kind of long, so I'm hoping I can do something special at the very end of everything and like trim it down a little bit so it looks super factory, and like the back ends where the original stuff ended. I don't know if I'm good enough to do that, but we will see. So let's continue on. Alright, so there we have it. The leather wrap is on. This is the side I see. I added the M, which is I just kind of made a little X, tucked the sides in, and I pushed this badge in. Um, the side you see isn't the worst looking thing. I have some like cupping here, and then some right here, but I can totally live with this as long as it doesn't come off or come apart. The stitching is decent. You can actually see a slight gap here. I just couldn't stretch it enough. I don't know if it was just my mistake with gluing too much and not being able to stretch it in time, or if this was just made a little bit narrower. Doesn't really matter to me. The steering wheel airbag is pretty dang shiny, unfortunately. And there's actually like some like rubber damage here. So it's not the best looking airbag, but it's functional. Let me take this off so you can look at the back. I put these tabs in just to help the sides stay down as the glue dries. And here's the other side. There is some damage on this back part here too. Doesn't really matter. There's some more cupping here. Again, I don't think I'm ever going to feel it. And the back is pretty smooth. Oh, there's a wrinkle right here. Don't really care. And yeah, so that is my Redlinegoods steering wheel rewrap. Really happy with it. I'm sure if I did this again, it would be better. And if I did it again after that, it'd be even better. But I'm for about $100-something bucks. This is a great product. Brings life to your M wheel. I did not thicken it at all because I don't want a bigger diameter steering wheel than what this is. And I'll just put this on my car and give you a final wrap up and final thoughts. So I have the 4-spoke taken out. You can see I did cover it, but it's over here. There's some separation between the foam and then the outer perforated layer. And there is the new one. The slip ring for both of them is a 111 part number, except that these airbag plugs are actually, they're different colors, and there's a different part number written down on them. I don't know what that means. I'm going to use the original slip ring that came with this wheel and hope that the slip ring isn't busted or it doesn't squeak. Otherwise, it's good to go. Let me put you down real quick. I'm going to show you there's a slight height difference between the 4-spoke and the M wheel. If I just lay them on the ground and then kind of just lay them up. So you can see there's about a 10mm difference. So I am getting a slightly smaller diameter wheel, which is going to be nice. I'm not going to do an install of this guy. I'm just going to show you the final product. There are plenty of videos online showing you how to install this, so you don't need another one of these. So, got everything installed. The wheel, wow, this is kind of zoomed in even with the wide angle. But I got the wheel installed. So this obviously looks way uglier than this does. I'll have to figure out what to do. I might just take a Magic Clean or a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, kind of scrub this all down. I have to fix this spot with the little leather and vinyl repair kit that I have, but everything is installed. First impressions is it is somewhat noticeable. With the old wheel, there was you can kind of see through this, so you could see the top of the dash and then the wheel continued on. Well, from like a normal driving angle, so like kind of this. Now you no longer have that gap. It's much more even. I would like it even smaller, to be honest, because I'm not a tall dude, but this is actually perfectly fine. I'm gonna see how I like it on track and if I really want a smaller, like something 350 or 340 millimeters. Otherwise I don't really have much else going on with this. Let's see. The turn signal cancellation worked because I lined up the clock spring properly and everything went in. The airbag light is not on because I did unplug the battery and once I plugged it back in, the the clock spring on this thing works. It does squeak a little bit on this one, but I don't really care. It's a track car, and there's a lot more other noises going on in this thing than a squeaky clock spring. Yeah, so torqued this guy to 46 foot-pounds. Snugged up the airbag bolts so they don't back off, and I am good to go. Here is one last look from the outside. So you got a very OEM looking cockpit, you got your non-sport seats, your M wheel with new leather, got your standard 5-speed shift knob, and that's the rest of your black interior. So thanks for sticking it out through this video. Hope you enjoyed watching.